Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Deja Vu Survival, where we look at an old world with new eyes. My name is Glitch. Today we are starting out in the village and it happens to be raining. But I wanted to be over here because this will make us a little bit closer to what I want to check out in this episode. Now, since this place is likely going to be a way station for future adventures, between episodes, I started work on co-opting one of the houses to make a little home away from home. I also spent some time at the cobblestone generator and set up a basic perimeter wall around the village, as well as laying down a whole lot of torch spam. It's not a perfect defense, and I'll have to improve it in time, but I want to try and keep these guys safe. Especially because while I was doing the grind work for the episode, I noticed a baby villager grew up. So I decided to take a 5-minute break to see what profession he wound up taking. I really was hoping for a librarian, so I had removed all of the profession blocks that were in use. And sure enough, I got one. Now, his first trade wasn't the greatest, so I tried my hand at re-rolling what he had on offer. Long story short, as in like 30 minutes long, I finally was able to get a hold of a very, very special kind of villager trade. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce all of you to our new best friend here in the village, our mending librarian. Mending is an enchantment that basically uses the XP orbs to repair tools and armor. And as you can see, it's really good we found this. We were able to get this because my shovel has about had it. And had 14 emeralds and a book. That is a steal. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of those. And also, since you are our first villager and our first librarian that I really, really want to keep, I decided we're going to go ahead and give this guy a name. And just like in my regular survival world, we're going to call him Dewey, after the Dewey Decimal System. Now, I do have to mention one thing to you, Dewey. If you could help me out, your cousin in my other survival world, yeah, like, he charges me 37 emeralds for one book. Well, a mending book, that is. You think you could help me out and, like, write him a letter, something? Email? Snail mail? Telegraph? Anything? I don't think that's going to work. Alright. Now, in time, I do want to give him some better housing. But right now, he's only at the novice level, and I'm a little concerned that if I break his profession block again, it'll re-roll his trades and reset things. Since villager mechanics here in Bedrock can be a little bit on the finicky side, so for now, he's just going to hang out here in his chapel while we look at upgrading, and we'll look at upgrading his accommodations down the road just a little bit. Incidentally, I am planning to demonstrate how to re-roll trades for a villager in a future episode because, just like with Dewey, there are a couple other books I would love to have access to. But for now, we're going to leave Dewey hanging out here, and let's go ahead and dive into today's project. Right after I grab some sleep, because it's nighttime. There we are. Now we're fresh in the morning. I think the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and place our mending book in the ender chest just to keep it safe. And also, I think I'll put my shovel in there just because it got such low durability right now. I'm honestly afraid it'll break if I use it much more. But we'll go ahead and take that with us. And let's go ahead and head out. Now, up until now, I have been collecting sand from the beaches near where we found our buried treasure back in episode 8. And I've never really liked wrecking the terrain, so I wanted to find a desert, and I wanted to leave things looking somewhat similar. Now, I do know that roughly off to the north of this village, there is a desert. And that will give us the chance to uh, get an unlimited amount of sand that'll allow us to have things like glass or building, and yet it will also still allow us to gather it and not destroy things, but leave things looking the same, if not just a little flatter. Now, one other thing that we're going to pass through is the Savannah Biome. We touched on it a little bit over there, but there's also one on this side as well. And the Savannah Biome, while it doesn't have any unique resources, it does have a unique tree to it, the Acacia Tree. And the acacia is a really, really great wood for building. It's got this kind of rust orange coloration to it, which I truthfully like, especially for the trapdoors and the trapdoors or doors, because they have that kind of lattice work. So if you recall, I actually used the acacia when I built our apiary last episode because of the fact that it has that, and it has the advantage that it allows light through, but it also does not but it also is something that mobs cannot see through. We'll go ahead and grab some of that and see if I'll see if these any saplings generate on the way back. But just beyond where we the savanna biome, which another interesting thing about is the fact that, like the desert, in the savanna biome, it never rains. Which, while not game changing, is just one of those kind of neat things that they added into the game that is kind of a nod to real life. And lastly, we walked by one on the way in. If you're an animal lover, savannas are also one of the places where llamas will spawn naturally. Now that we're coming into the desert, just like in real life, in the desert you will find very little water, and also it can make it a real challenge if you happen to get a seed that you spawn immediately in a desert, because in the desert, unless you have the edge of a biome or something different, you have almost no access to wood. In fact, the only wood you'll find in the desert are these dead bushes, which, when broken, will either give you nothing like that, or they do have a small chance to drop sticks. Now, another useful resource in the desert beyond all this sand are cactus. Now, cactus are great because you can farm them for a good source of XP when you smelt them. They're also the only source of green dye found within the game. Now, cactus also will cause you damage, and whether you brush up against it or whether you jump on top. And unlike magma cubes, if you jump up on top, it will keep damaging you even if you hold shift to crouch. Cactus also has the interesting property, you know what, I have this ladder here, that any item entity that touches cactus will immediately be destroyed. So if I throw this ladder against it, it instantly disappears and it's gone forever, which does make cactus a useful item for item disposal. So since it's renewable and I can do a small cactus farm back at the Cleft 2.0, I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple. You just need to break one at the bottom and the rest will break. And we'll just take these guys back and we'll go ahead and start farming them. Now, like I said, with the desert, you do have all this an unlimited amount of sand, which can be used for sandstone and all of its variations, and you can also smelt it down into glass. Right now, because I want to save room for something else I want to check out, I'm not going to gather too much today. But along with the natural resources you can find within the desert, there are a couple of structures that are unique to this biome, as well as one unique mob. And I think for now, I'm going to go ahead and grab a bed, have it at the ready because the sun is starting to get low. I want to see if I can find the structure first, and then we'll see if we can find that mob. Because I remember when I came here, you had this giant mountain here, this kind of mountainous structure here, and let's go ahead. I don't see that there. Let's go up here. Doop doop. Up, 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 up. Okay, down there. And over there is more savanna, and you know what? Let's go ahead and I'm going to go up here, take a quick look around, and since the sun is getting nice and low, I'm going to go ahead and pop the bed down, and I will see you guys first thing in the morning. But I just got to say, wow, that looks nice. Good night. All right, here we are in the morning. Grab our bed. And let's just go up over the top here, and if I remember correctly, from aha, yes. So I only see one of the two unique structures, but what we have down here at the bottom of the hill is a desert temple or desert pyramid. Now these have been in the game since Minecraft 1.3, and there's a couple of schools of thought on them. I'm going to just quick make a crafting table here. And I want some of these acacia logs. All right, that'll be enough. All right. Now, like I said, these things have been around since version 1.13, and despite their age, I think they're still a pretty valuable find. Partially because even though they're loot tables that are listed on the wiki, which, by the way, I will leave a link to in the description down below, their loot tables do leave a little bit to be desired, but in my experience, because deserts are such a common biome, and because within deserts, the desert temple is a common structure, you actually increase your chances of finding rare loot by volume rather than by luck. Just for an example, in my original survival world, 2 out of the 4 enchanted golden apples that I have found were found just going around and Indiana Jonesing my way from temple to temple. And yeah, that did mean a good bit of grind work for that, but that's just part of the adventure of exploring a Minecraft world. Now that being said, before I go inside, I'm going to pop back up here for just a second, and I want to go ahead and I want to make a couple of trapdoors. And the reason for that is with the desert temple, there are 5 entrances. There are two at the top here. You can we'll come over here just a little bit. There are 2 at the top here, and there are also 2 on either side of the. I'm sorry, there are 6 because there are 2 on the sides here, 2 on the either side of this kind of pyramid structure, and that one hole there at the top. Now, before I go in, I tend to start out by going down and placing either a piece of glass or a trapdoor on this hole in the roof. The reason being, it still lets light in, as you can see, but also it means that no mobs can drop in from the top and drop in on you. Now, and yeah, I hear it sounds like we've got a Oh, hi, creeper. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab some cobble quick. Creeper didn't detect us yet, so I'm going to go ahead and block these doors off. Yeah, you can't get me. I'm going to block the door off, and let's come over here real quick. All right, block that one off. Now, the reason I block these off is because what I want to try and avoid is mobs coming in while we are checking the temple out. Because this will allow us to kind of look things over without them coming at us. And I'm outside where that creeper can actually blow up. So what we're going to do is get here and then grab our bow. And where'd you go? Hello. Come on, where are you? Right, there's one. Oh, yes, that's one. Now I just got to find that creeper. All right, you know what we're going to have to do? As you can see, right there in the corner, just about see, there is one more exit. So I think what we're going to have to do is going to have to go back outside. And it sounds like there are a couple of skeletons inside. So we're going to come around here and see if we can draw them outside. Oh, hi. Oh, I love Power 4. Oh, this is not good. This is not good because there's... Okay, let's go ahead and doop. All right, and... All right, you come... Yep, come here. Oh, hello. Okay, check my corners. And goodbye. Now, let's real quick get this place lit up. Because within the desert temple, it is generally speaking bright enough for mobs to spawn. Come down and check these little side rooms. And boom. Okay, now we should be good to go. It's still bright and sunny out. Good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pop a block down there and one more trapdoor. This will allow us to see what's going on when we leave. Now let's go ahead and collect our bounty. Do. And I want to just get all of the little corners and nooks and crannies and make sure that everything is lit up because I would rather not be disturbed while we look at the treasure. Okay, so, all right, clear. And I just want to make sure we have that down there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. And let's go ahead and put a block there. All right, and we should be good to go. Now, just going to mine down here. Okay, once you have the desert temple secure, what you want to do is you want to come to one of these 4 pillars and dig down a couple of... Wow, I forgot I have efficiency 4 on this thing. Okay, so what we're going to do is sandstone has a much lower breaking strength than most blocks. So you want to be careful with that. So what we do is we can go ahead and drop down in, and yes, I took a little bit of damage, but that's just because of the drop there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a torch down. Now if we look down here, you will see here's the loot. But before we just dive down there, there's one more thing, one more trap we need to disarm. So let's come down, and you will see this pressure plate here. Let's go ahead and break that. Oh, close enough. Boom. Okay. And now we can go ahead and come down and examine our loot in peace because all of the entrances up top are covered. So let's go ahead and... Ooh! Mojang, what do you have for me today? We've got some horse armor. Sounds like there might be a cave nearby too. Okay, let's do that. And the rotten flesh we can go ahead and sell. What do we got? Ooh, piercing 1. That's a crossbow enchantment. Okay, what do we have here? Ooh, power 1. That's a good bow enchantment. More gunpowder, more bones, gold horse armor. Okay. And what do we have here? Some sand, more rotten flesh. Ooh, little gold. More bones. You know what? We'll take the sand just for fun. And I always grab horse armor even though I don't use it a lot because of the fact that horse armor can be smelted down for gold nuggets. All right, and well, not the greatest of finds. However, I will say that all of the bones and different things like that are going to be very helpful. And it does, like I said, it does sound like there is a decent cave here. But there's one other thing. As you can see, when I broke out the and we are full. Is there anything I can drop? Cut sandstone. No, I want to keep. No, what we can do is we can go ahead and get rid of the bow. The last thing that you will find within a desert temple is the other treasure, which is a whole 9 pieces of TNT. Which, incidentally, is another reason I went going from temple to temple. Because of when I coming up on 1.16, because I really wanted the resources. But once you've disabled once you've disabled the trap, go ahead and you can go ahead and take out the TNT. Then let's go ahead and go ahead and break that out and I'm still too full. You know what? Let's go ahead and we'll leave the sandstone behind. And all right, go ahead and up. And then once you've got your loot, the TNT, all you need to do is come back the way you came, look down, and just pillar your way back out. And you should not have any problems since you basically blocked off all of the entrances. Now, before we head back to the village, I do want to see if I can find one of the hostile mobs that is unique to the desert. Any hostile mob can spawn in this biome. However, there is one variation of the zombie that you can only find here. And since it took a couple of moments to go ahead and put the stuff in the ender chest before coming back, okay, I see a creeper, and let's go ahead and take a look around. Spider, thought I heard one. What I want to do is, I'm going to go ahead and... wow, he detected me from far away. Okay, let's go ahead and... boom. Oh, I love Power 4. Okay, since it's nighttime, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can sleep. Because one of the interesting things about this particular variant of the zombie is the fact that they do not burn in sunlight. Let's look around. Right, there's a drowned. Let's go ahead and break that out. That. Round. Alright, and now since most of the night passed while we were in the temple, there is a good possibility we'll be able to find one of these mobs. And I just realized I forgot my shield back home. Which that wasn't smart. Okay, let's first off take care of that creeper. Oh, long distance shot for the win. Okay, and where are they? The type of mob we're looking for is called a husk. And they are basically a dried out version of the zombie. Just like the drowned is a, for lack of a better term, waterlogged version of a zombie. And oddly enough, Though I heard one in the night, not seeing one here this morning. I'm really hoping they didn't turn themselves into they didn't get turned into drowned by in the night. Go around. All right. I am not seeing them here, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and leave the go ahead and do some looking around and see if I can find one of these guys. And if I can, I will be right back. Okay, so here we are. I finally decided to just wait till nightfall. And it looks like we have some of these different variants of the zombie. Oh, hello. One sneaking up right behind me. So let's go ahead and see if we can get these guys to come inside with us. Come here. Come here, boys. Ah. Yeah, come here. Come on inside. These guys are what's referred to as a husk. Now, where'd they go? Now you'll notice that when they hit me, my health bar turned green, and that's because I now have what's referred to as the hunger effect. And the hunger effect basically turns your health bar green, and you basically, because of that, you do not heal as fast. Now these guys are no different than any other variant of zombie. They do have a tiny bit more health, but the biggest issue they have is that hunger debuff, because of the fact that, as you can see, it's just kind of lasting because I kept getting hit. But it makes your hunger go down faster, which also in turn makes it harder to heal. Now, again, I'm not overly worried because of the fact that I happen to have good armor on, but they can add a bit of a challenge into exploring the desert. And, oh good, they're far enough away. And the other big challenge with the husks is the fact you'll hear zombies burning. However, the husks are just fine in the daytime. So they do not, unlike zombies, they do not burn in daylight, and can be a real problem if you get swarmed, including during your adventures and during your exploration. Though the Desert Temple has been around for a good while in-game, it still offers a decent amount of randomized loot as well as a good supply of TNT, which can be very useful for mining or for just plain fun. And that about covers the basics of deserts and desert temples. In the future, we will explore more throughout this type of biome and look for its variants, and also for the variation of the village that can be found in the desert, which has one or two interesting, if not unique, features of its own. But I think at this point, I'm going to head home and stash away the loot that we found, though I may have to do a serious amount of reorganizing to find a place to put it all. So I think next time we're going to look at getting everything in its place by providing a place for everything. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, and also consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. My name is Glitch, and I do hope I'll see you next time for the next episode of Deja Vu Survival. Thanks for watching.